Hello Barry, and thank you for having me on your show today. As a casual historian and as an avid fan in the Renaissance, I feel I am able to speak on this topic of how the Medicis single-handedly financed the Renaissance, and through that they revolutionized not only the world in whole, but also the business world individually. Alright, most of us are afraid of banks. Mostly because we see them as big money pits. But before there were mortgages and complex loans, there were the Medicis. So first I will talk to you about the branch system and how the Medici Bank created the branch system in the banks. Second, I'll talk to you about how the Medici started investing in politics and art to advance their public view and their power in Florence, Italy. And finally, I'll talk to you about how the Medicis started charging interest on the loans that they handed out to people around them. Alright, first I'll talk to you about the branch system and how the Medici started using branches with their banks. In a 1999 article in The Economist, it says that the Medicis had one centralized bank, and that was located in their manor. It started out as a backdoor business. People would come in their back door, do their business in a small living area, and then go back out. Eventually, they started branching out. They would have other branches across Florence, Italy, and just across the region. This is similar to how banks work today, how there would be one centralized bank. Let's say Chase has a large bank tower in New York, and they'll have a bunch of little banks all throughout the nation. Alright, second I'll talk to you about how the Medici started investing in politics and art. In a 1994 article by Dooley, they started investing in an ex-pirate who wanted to go into the Catholic Church. Now they funded him through the ranks of priest, cardinal, all the way up until he became Pope John the 23rd. Now that really put their foot in the door for controlling over the Catholic Church. We'll find out a little bit more about that later. Alright, next, in a 2011 article in the Art Bulletin, Medici started funding artists such as Da Vinci, Michelangelo, and architects like Brunelleschi to not only improve their own image, but also gain respect from the people around them. They became almost like the modern day philanthropists, where they'll fund people around them to really improve the image of their own company, but also the civilization. Next, I'll talk to you about how the Medici started charging interest on loans they gave to people. In a 2009 article from a Medici transcript from the Baker's Library, charging interest in that day and age was deemed illegal by the Catholic Church. But with the Medici's control over the church from Pope John Paul the 23rd, they had the leverage to overturn this law so that they could actually start charging interest, which really started the ball rolling on creating their enterprise. And as their client, the church really funded almost every one of their projects. Next, in an article in 2012 by the Business Insider, Medicis didn't just give out loans to anybody. You have to reach a level of respect and trust within the family to even get any money, just like banks do today with loans and mortgages. According to a 1994 article by Dooley, a lot of people couldn't pay the interest on the loans they received from the Medici family. So they set up a system of favors where they wouldn't necessarily need the favors right then, but later down the road they would call upon those favors. This was similar to the act of investing in a company now, where you give the money and they eventually will pay you back down the road if they are successful. Now this really gained them a lot of respect and power within the Renaissance around the Italian area. So first I talked to you about how the Medici started a branch system within the banks. They started out with just one centralized bank, and they started spreading out throughout the region. Second, I talked to you about how the Medicis started investing in politics and artists to increase their power and also their view from the public. And finally, I talked to you about how they started charging interest on loans that they gave out to the people of Florence. Finally, next time you have a pile of debt on your desk, you can just thank the Medicis and how they started the interest rate on all of your loans. Thank you.